What we're going to do is set the governor. I've never messed with governors before because never built a motor with a governor on it. So all of the stuff I had regular old throttles on it. Either twist throttle, thumb throttle, but not this one. This one's got the governor on it. So governors were designed that you start the motor, it runs open until you throw a load on it, and it keeps that throttle. Instead of letting the motor die down, the governor comes in and forces the throttle to stay up even higher. That's the way I understand it. Forces the throttle to stay there instead of dying out. So at least that's what I'm getting out of it. So when you get a heavier load on it, when you have a thumb throttle or twist throttle, all you do is twist it more. These engines, what are you going to do? Walk along blowing snow and adjusting the throttle as you go? Nope. You just want to be able to run right into it. So that's what the governor's for. The governor was that little thing inside I replaced I showed you earlier. But that works off of this rod here. There's a little tiny, that's where that rod comes up out of the motor. Hooks into the throttle linkage here. I just went in and watched the video on how to adjust these because, like I said, I have no clue how to do these. So you're seeing it first time. But, in this case, this gets turned all the way clockwise. Yes, all the way clockwise. And this is held all the way open. Not back against the throttle screw. Then, and this is already loosened. There's a little shaft in the middle. It's got a little hex, 3/16 hex on the end of it. So, using that. And then a 3/8 wrench. I've already loosened this. Now I gotta go back in. I'm holding this arm over, which is holding the throttle all the way open. Okay, makeshift engine stand here. Admittedly, I did a few things off camera. I got the tank mount back up, got the spark plug cleaned up and put back in it. Don't need any electrical hooked up. I can ground the wire out to the engine. Oil's back in it. What else? What else did I do off camera? Well, I have that cover hooked up so I can push hit the primer bulb. So, already primed. It's warm in here. It's part choke. No, it's actually zero choke. I have it hooked in the electrical start, plugged into the wall over there. This is clamped to the sawhorses. The side of the engine is clamped on the other side to the board and to the sawhorses. So, let's see if it'll fire up. That is success. Now granted, we're indoors here, so I can't run this long. I don't see a lot of smoke. And just to let you know, I had it running before this. I'm starting to lose my clamps. Hold on one second. I don't want the motor to vibrate off the stand. Also have to be careful, that shaft is turning out there. Admittedly, I did fire it up before I turned the camera on. I just wanted to be sure it didn't go racing on me. But it didn't run like this before I took it apart. I'm going to call this success. See a little smoke coming out. It might be burning a little rich. Not sure if there's anything I can do about that. Maybe make some adjustments to some jets on there. If they are adjustable, I'll check into it. But motor's running again. I still have to get it all mounted back on the blower, but at least it's running. Heck yeah. I'm happy. Alright, so just so you see it. Pliers. Rubber handles. There's a ground wire over there. Whew. Yeah, a little too many exhaust fumes in here. I'm gonna open the door up. But we got ourselves a running motor. I am happy. Absolutely. If you heard this thing before, it was spitting and sputtering, and if you could get it to run right, it revved out like crazy. Definitely worth the investment into the carburetor and the new governor. A couple of gaskets, a couple of pulleys because I felt like replacing them. They were a little pitted. Awesome. Let's get the rest of it buttoned up, get it mounted back on the blower. Okay, here we are back out in the shop. Got our 13 horse Briggs running well. Fired right up just about once we got the carb primed up. Just buttoning up some cover panels on it right now. Hopefully I don't stand in the way and block your view here. I don't remember the order these came off, so I might be putting one on, taking it off, putting one back on again. So, but let's go ahead and see what we can get bolted back up here. All right, the only thing I had to do was take the tank off, put this cover back on. It just sits in there over top all the governor linkage and throttle linkage. Drop back on there. Okay, 4 bolts, and I'm a person for Loctite. Nothing vibrates loose. And the primer line, I've replaced the primer line, but the primer bulb's fine. I thought that might be dry rotted, but it wasn't. Okay, they go up and over the choke linkage there. Get these two on those studs coming out of the carburetor. It looks to be in place, I believe, unless here's the difference. Remember I said there was a difference in this linkage? That white piece coming off the top of the carb, I think I got to change that out. Because this needs to pop up through that plastic. It can't. It's got a little shoulder on the edge of it. Now let's see what's involved with that. Hopefully it doesn't involve taking that thing out of the carb. Really don't want to deal with it. There we go. Alright. Make sure that stays on. There's a way to pull this out of here, but I'm not sure how they do it. Pull it. All they do is grab that and pull it out of there. That's kind of, I don't know. It doesn't sound right. There's nothing on that instruction sheet on how to get that out. Yeah, it is. You grab it with pliers and pull it out. Well, let's see how this works out. I break that plastic thing. Well, I don't care if I break the plastic thing. It's actually not the right one. All right. Just pull it out. Slide this one out. What's stopping it from going through the top is this little tab on here. I don't know if you can see that. This little tab on here. It's the only thing difference between this and the dark one over here. You know, this one doesn't have that on there. So, it's the one we need. Put this back down in there. It only goes on one way because there's little nubs on this side to stop it from... Wow. It better stay in place, that's all I can say. Now watch. I'll probably break this one. Slid right out. That's all it takes. All right. Dropping everything everywhere. Oh. Gasket. Screen. Where'd my spacer go? All right. Saved you the trouble of watching me struggle to put this thing back together. It's not a friendly design when it comes to mostly putting the 4 engine mounting bolts back into the base. You've got to struggle to get up through all the drive system underneath to get to the holes to put the bolts in. The bolts come in from the bottom. But electrically, everything's bolted back down. Got it back in there. Just that one cover right here on the front I had to put back on yet. Everything else is there. Just check the oil. It's spot on full. And I'd like to test fire it and see how everything operates, because nothing's been tested on this other than the motor runs. I know that. So let's get this extension cord plugged into it, get it fired up. One thing I found out with these extension cords, plug it all the way into the thing or it starts to smoke. I thought the starter was burning up. You don't shove it all the way on there. You don't put it all the way on there, it's a pain. Alright. Now, we already know that the fuel's hard to turn on. So, for now, it's pliers until this thing decides it's going to work a little bit better. There we go. Fuel is on. Choke. It's been inside, no need to prime. And should be okay on hearing protection. So disengage, disengage. The drive's not even engaged, so I don't have to worry about that. I knew I was going to forget this. Stupid little safety key things. When I took it out and put it on the workbench, I thought, I'm going to forget to put this back in, and I'm going to get aggravated because it won't start. So all this does go in and cuts the ground, keeps it from grounding out to the frame. So All right. All the electrical's back in. The grounds are back on. Choke's on. Let's give it a shot. Well, that's not good. Of course, I just had it sitting up on its nose. I may have flooded it out. Kind of smells like it. So, let me think here. I can't even get to the linkage to give it full throttle. Choke off. Just wonder if there's a switch somewhere I'm forgetting to turn on. Yes, there is. The throttle is all the way down. That's a kill. There we go. There we go. That is outstanding. Everything works. The power chute works. This is the only thing that's not power on this one. It's the deflector, but hey, whatever. Hand warmers work. Power chute works. The drive works. The impeller works. Outstanding. I am thrilled. Can't be happier. The only thing I could do is test the pull start. It's warmed up a little bit now. Turn that throttle up a little bit. They didn't have to pull it that hard. Awesome. Well, that about wraps up this repair. The only thing I might do is a little bit of touch-up paint. I got some rust spots on it. Check the gear oil. There's a gearbox in the front. Got to oil that. There's some on the impeller shafts, the auger shafts. I'm sorry, the auger shafts have grease fittings on them. Got to grease those up. And this project is done. Thanks for joining me for this one. I know it's not sawmill, but some other things have to get done around here as well as the sawmill. So we'll call this one a success. And hey, thanks again for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and push that notification button right next to the subscribe, the little bell. Let you know when I put another video up. Thanks again for stopping in, and we'll see you out here next time.